I chose Caro because I wanted to be able to tell stories in different ways. If I wanted to tell stories as Mbeng Lilian, I don't think it would have had the impact. So when we decided to come together as Caro and Copees, for it to blend properly, we needed another African man who will not actually be an African man, because we needed a more authoritative man to bridge that gap. It shouldn't just be two perfect couple, because there's no perfect relationship. Caro was already that perfect African woman who is so submissive. Copees should be this man who wants more, who wants an upgrade version of the woman someday.
Why movies?
Growth is something I am very big on. Every year I re-strategize. Bismark, I met him on the set of Maestro, a TV series I featured in, and he was the assistant director of that project. When I went on set, he was giving me guide on my character and everything, and I saw an amazing director, someone who has knowledge of directing and everything at the peak of his fingers. I see ARREYB Productions going international in 5 years, where we'll have to do a production in Nigeria, do a production in Ghana. Why not America? Why not Canada? We are doing everything possible to brand every person we are working with, experience or non-experience. So we put you out there, tag you, talk about you, the years you've been in the industry, your contributions to the growth of the industry.
What's your pick? Let's give them details.
No, I don't want to limit my suitors, so let them come.
I'll tell them for you.
This is so on point.
What is one question you have never been asked in the media which you wished you were asked? What's up, my smart friend? Before you jump straight into this episode, there are 3 boxes I'd love you to check while you watch. First things first, please make sure to hit the subscribe or the follow button down below, because the more we grow, the bigger guests we can approach on this platform and the more value we can bring to you here on the podcast. Second, a lot of friends always reach out to me and say something like, "Hey, Arrey, I really did enjoy this particular segment of this episode." What I want you to do, if you get to a point like that, pick up your phone and send this to a friend and say, "Hey, check this out between 10 to 15 minutes. There's something very important I'd love you to see." Number 3, please make sure to check out the links in the description for very helpful resources. You're going to find the link to join the Smart Club, which is my private mentorship club for friends who want to learn and master a high-income digital marketing skill. Whether your goal is to build your personal brand, become a freelancer, or get a job in digital marketing, the Smart Club is going to be the right place for you. Also, you're going to find the link to join our 21,000 Smart Friends on email, where you're going to receive an email from me once every week. Plus, down below, you're also going to see links to connect with the guest. So please make sure you tick those 3 boxes and enjoy the rest of this episode. I was really excited to talk to you because first I wanted to kind of just learn a bit about your journey, because I feel that you've had a really interesting journey, and talking to you, but not just talking to understand or to know Caro, but also Mbeng Lilian as a person. But I wanted to circle a bit back. Talk to me about your upbringing, and if any part of it ever led you, or maybe was any part of it ever suggested that you were ever going to get into comedy or into acting, something like that?
Yes, I think there was that possibility, because as a child in your care, I used to belong to drama groups in church. When I was in Form 1, I think, there was a production house in your care then. And everyone was just excited. I wanted to be part of the production house. So I was part of the production house. At that time, I didn't look at the bigger picture. I guess I was just enjoying the moment, and I was very excited about playing different character. I remember one time in church we acted the story of Mary. Guess what? I was the Mary, and I gave birth to Jesus. Yes, that it was actually released in a CD form, and my dad was super excited about it. So when the CD came out, my dad bought it and called the entire neighborhood to come watch the little girl. Yes. Okay, about my growing up, I was born and raised in Yoke, Moyoka. I did my primary education there. Then later moved to Buya, where I did most of my secondary education. Then at some point, I dropped out of school because my parents could not afford my fees, so I went back to Yoke. And one of our relatives one of our extended family members offered to send me so I could go and learn a trade or something, because I was just seated at home going to the farm. I was so excited. So I went into computer studies. While at that place, I had another relative who offered to send me back to school, but on the condition that because I was doing technical at the time, so she said I had to divert.
General education.
If I'm not doing general education, she's not willing to sponsor anyone who is doing technical because to her, technical education wasn't for women, So that was how I went. Before I dropped, I
Okay.
was doing technical education. So I had my capiet. So I already had a certificate at the time, very little. I was very small. And I missed one part. While I was at home, an offer came. My aunt wanted to go in for a teacher's
Yeah.
training course in Baminda. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, Auntie, I want to do it. I want to do it. I was little as I was so very much interested in it. So fast forward, I came back to Boya, went to Somerset, where I had my advanced level, and then went to the University of Boya. And my first year in the university, I lost my mom,
Mm.
and that was like dead to me because remember I had dropped from school at some point, and I had two relatives who came to support, but at some
Mm-hmm.
point they equally gave up on me. They had a
Yeah.
disappointment, they had a misunderstanding with my dad, and because of that, I am not sponsor your picking again, maybe. So I stopped, and I'm coming from a very poor background. That is one of my motivating factors why I work so hard because I am trying to change not just my story but the story of my parents. I come
Right.
from a very poor background. Like back then at the time, they were making mockery of my dad. Like my dad would pass and people would laugh at him. They were
Mm.
making mockery of my dad and my entire family. So I grew up in shame, my background. Like I wasn't really very proud of myself, like because of my environment and what I was faced with. My mom was the one who took charge of my advanced level because I had dropped from when I had my ordinary level after having that capiet, and one of my relatives sent me. I had my ordinary level during the lower seat. I think that was when she stopped and my mom took over from them. My mom was living around Bova, one village in after Muyenge,
Yeah. I
because
don't know
she had
that side.
separated. Yes, she had
Mm.
separated with my dad. So my mom took up the responsibility of sending me to school. She was doing cocoa. I remember I would
Mm.
always go to Bova to work in the cocoa farm. So that was when my mom raised money and sent me now to Somerset. I went to Somerset, I had my advanced level. My first year at the university, she died. And trust me, it was like my
Oh.
whole world had crashed because this was the only person that was there. I was bent on the fact that I finished at least, my university course. So it
Mm.
was a total, it actually kept me in a very funny place at the time. But we struggled. I and my kid sisters, my brothers, we battled through it. We did different businesses. My kid sister had to drop out of school because they were in a more expensive school than I was, because UB at the time was 50K. So my
Yeah.
my my kid sisters were in mostly private schools. There was no money, nothing. And I was bent on at least having my bachelor's degree.
Mm.
So we did different businesses. I sold corn, I worked farm, like I sold kanda and meat. I did a whole lot of things. Then at the time, I started venturing into doing little videos here and there, going for auditions,
Yeah.
getting to meet people like Lovett Lambert, my very
Yeah.
my
Master.
partner, my
Mm.
master. Yes, we met and we went for different auditions. Douala, Bamenda, Yaoundé. We traveled to different regions, for auditions. Then things were not just moving. Then in 2016, I was fortunate to be casted for my first major film, which was a TV series, and it featured on CRO TV4 for like 3 to 4 months. That was like wow to me.
Yeah.
And
Until when you grow up in a background just like you did, sometimes I can totally relate because I know that at some point I even showed out my mommy some time where I can remember she was going to take. So my mom also was a teacher. And then I remember one time she had taken her little money and had spent almost everything on us. And she was going back to get money from the bank at the end of the month, but she didn't have transport. So we don't we'll stand for I think my 4 pack or wait. Let me look at post na San Frank Lady. But me, I need to go down for Limbe.
oh no,
Remember, don't look me, I turn look here. I want to see your turn, your tap someone, well, I would say Saturday 400. Na man feel in a limbo the go so. But when I grew up, I think that the tendency is that experience, it always molds you, just like you said. It inspires you, but it also really molds you in a certain way. Did you feel like you drew your identity from that? And if so, how did you deal with changing that identity for yourself? Because sometimes it comes with this low self-esteem, there's you having to battle with a lot of even mindset pressures. How did that shape you, and how did you get out of it?
Before now, I wasn't very proud of my story, my journey, When I lost my mom, I faced this was a very little girl faced with three siblings, faced with reality. And if there was one thing I couldn't jeopardize was my personality and the teachings my parents
Yeah.
gave us.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of crying and always looking back at where I'm coming from,
Mm-hmm.
I decided this is reality. This is who I am. I am
Sure.
Mbeng Lilian from Yoke, the daughter of Nkema Dominic. That is not going to change. I just have to face life and see how I can make a difference.
Yeah.
So I lacked self-confidence. I couldn't stand in front of crowd. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't. In myself. I didn't. I would see a bridge, everyone is crossing. But when it comes to me, I feel like if I go there, I'll fall, back then. But when I was faced with reality, I needed to brace up because I had three siblings looking up to me. They need
Mm.
me to be their strength and to be their support system. There was no room for weakness for me. Realities of life, my mentality shaped everything about me. And I would say this is my story. To say I grew up in Yoke I'm coming from a very poor background, and that is my motivation. Every time I look behind, every time I think of giving up, I look behind, I say, no, no, no. I
Mm.
cannot. The story of my family has to change one way or the other. Yes, my
Yeah.
parents will be remembered for something. And even if they were not praised or looked at, positively while they were alive, because of
Yeah.
me, people would say, and Kema song picking that too. Because of Lillian and the things I'll be able to change in my family and for myself, people should be able to applaud my late parents. And I know wherever they are, they will definitely be proud of me because I didn't let the past and the fact that I was an orphan weigh me
Mm.
down. Yes.
When you talk about it, I can feel the emotions in your voice. I can feel just, I'm sure sometimes you sit down and you're wishing that it's kind of like all of this is happening. I'm wishing that they were to experience this.
Honestly, every single time, every single moment of my life, whether I'm experiencing success or failure, whether I'm experiencing success or failure, I just wish they were here to applaud me for the small things I've been able to accomplish and also be here to encourage me for those times that I feel they'll be the most proud people on earth. They
Mm.
would be, I don't need to own a car or own something. My parents were just big on success. Every little thing you do, it was a
Mm.
whole big deal to them. So
Right.
I really do miss them, honestly.
When you get into comedy, the first thing you do is name yourself. Why, Caro?
That was because I wanted
Should
to
have choose
create
Arrey.
yeah, maybe I would have chosen Arrey. Yeah, but fortunately, I chose Caro because I wanted to be able to tell stories in different ways. In different ways. Let people not see. If I wanted to tell stories as Mbeng Lilian, I don't think it would have had the impact.
Mm-hmm.
Niche out another character through which I would use to tell diverse stories. So when we decided to come together as Caro and Copees, we we had a niche that we needed to work on, and we assigned ourselves. Like we said,
Right.
okay, go home today, think about what you want to work on, the name, and I'll do same. So
Okay.
went home. I had different options. Then the name Caro came. Option. Then the name Caro came. from a friend I call Vanessa. Because I thought at some point I was confused because I said, let me use my mother's name, Rufi. My mother's name was, it didn't come with
Wasn't giving
that,
it.
yes, it wasn't giving, because I wanted my mom to be at the center of everything that I was doing at the time. But again,
Mhm.
it was not just doing, I had sleepless nights. Then one day I called a friend of mine called Vanessa. She's in the US now. I told her this is it. I'm confused. What names do I use? So she was just calling, use this one, use this one. Then she went Caro. Then I said, stop, Caro.
Mm.
Caro is everything, if you ask me. Caro is a touch of everything. Caro can be a pastor. Caro can be a model. Caro can be a prostitute. Caro can be an arrogant person. Caro can be, like, the name Caro is just versatile. It's everything. It's a touch of everything. Fit Caro into any position. That name it's just, you get. So
Mm.
I said, this is what I've been looking for. I think Caro is the name. That was how I settled for the name Caro. Then I came out with a need for Caro, a character for the name Caro. I would have gone for maybe Slay Queen. I would have gone for this. I said, no, Caro, I want to depict a typical African woman.
Mm.
Typical African woman, uneducated one.
We had Ko Elonge, so I just had him recently on the podcast, Auntie Felicia. And when he talked about you, there was something he said that was really profound. And I think I had not thought about it that way until he said it. He said, in every character, there is a contrast. And the thing he talked about your character, he's like, look at Caro. Caro is that lady who is very proud to be married. But the contrast in it is she's like, I'm a Masadat. I'm the only married woman. Like, she owns it. But the contrast in it is that if you also try to see, look at her husband is not the kind of typical person that men out there, that women out there will want to go, oh, Masa get jeep, Masa get money. Talk to me about the concept around how you created that character and how you guys tried to blend it. I think there's something more genius in it than we just watching the character.
Like I said, I was trying to depict a typical African woman. And we know back then, the days of our mothers, marriage to them was a whole lot. Like, their husbands were like their gods. Their husbands were like their parents. Their husbands were their everything. Women honor their husbands. That was the character that was the character of Caro. That was the kind of woman we wanted him to be. And now, for it to blend properly, we needed another African man who will not actually be an African man, an African man, because back then, our parents would always respect their wives, appreciate them, and so we felt like, okay, we needed a contrast. If Caro is this woman that always say, "Yes, mama sir, mama sir, mama sir," we needed a more authoritative man, to bridge that gap. Let the audience be able to see things differently. It shouldn't just be two perfect couple, because there's no perfect relationship at the end of the day. So we just needed a contrast. So Caro was already that perfect African woman who is so submissive, who who was just all about the husband, whose business was centered around keeping her home, keeping her massa, and everything. So now the character Copees came in and we strike that difference for us to create a contrast. Copees should be this man who wants more, who wants an upgrade. If Copees is with you today, he's expecting to see an upgrade version of the woman someday. So we didn't bring a man who is contented with what he has. We brought a man. We niched out a character that will, at some point, he loves the wife, yes, but he wants to see growth. He wants to see involvement. Not that every day you rapa, funny looking makeup when you see more beautiful girls. So I would say that was the whole idea about yes.
When you guys create the character, well, you think about the name, and then later on you create the character. And then now you start deciding to, okay, we're going to start doing skits. What's the next step from there? If someone were to start taking out a character like that?
Well, the next step is, okay, first and most importantly, niche out a plan. This is what I want to do. This is my niche. meaning you are not going out of that niche. This is it, like you circled where you want to, focus on. Then, of course, we need people, since we were both the actors, we needed people to to join the team. We needed people to take the do the whole shooting, and bring the idea and our concepts to reality. And so we thought of our two friends who were very close to us at the time, Promise and Thought. And yeah, so we brought them in, we told them our idea and proposed that want them to be a part of this. Of course, we're not paying them because it's not a paying something, you know. It was just us creating a platform for ourselves where we get to portray, since we were already actors even before venturing into comedy. So at the time we just wanted to keep that aspect of us going and just see where it leads us. So we brought them in. From there now, we needed to come up with a logo. We needed to brand the whole
Characters, yeah.
Caro and Copees concept. So we came up with a logo, created our pages, we did photo shoots, we did interviews, and that was how we launched. First, we did now, after acting for like 2 months, we did an audition when we brought more aspiring actors and comedians to be part of the community, not just passive actors, but home actors, people will consider our own. If you notice, we had actors like Mani, Parboy,
Mhm.
Ma Elizo, Ma Sophie. These were actors that became, people were familiar with them. People. It was like a whole process that people followed, and they understood them. They understood their own characters, their roles, their own journey. That was how we built, and yeah.
So it sounds to me like you, as a very, very reflective person, like you guys created this thing that really works very well. And then now you decide and go, okay, even if we are not doing Caro and Copees again, let me take this really big success, but even double down on it and then dive into movies. So first things first, why movies?
Movies, because I started off as an actor. So yes, I kept that part of me because comedy gave me the spotlight, and I didn't want to, juggle the two. I needed to focus on one. I didn't want to be known for an actor. I'm known for a comedian. At the end of the day, I'll be known for nothing. So I let that aspect down and I focused on comedy. So growth is something I am very big on. I don't see myself standing on the same spot doing the same thing for too long. I think an upgrade is what every entertainer is looking forward to. So every year, just like every year, I think I will strategize. If you notice, when we started off as Caro and Copees, it was just all about, I was all about portraying Caro, Caro, Caro. Like, people actually thought Caro was an old woman. People actually thought Caro was an illiterate. People actually thought, it's like people had their diverse opinion about the character, about Caro. And now I didn't want to limit Caro at that level, because I wanted to equally market Mbeng Lilian under the image of Caro. Let
Mhm.
people be interested in using Caro as their model, maybe for hairs, for beauty, glam, and stuff like that. So it didn't just happen overnight. A year came and passed, moving on to another year. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Go back to the drawing board. This is what I've been doing. Now I don't think it's fair for me to focus only on this thing, because the truth is people get fed up at some point. So I needed this part of me to be visible, for people to see me diversely, and for brands, for bigger brands to want to work with me. Because when we limit it at just Caro, maybe some person will want do one model hair go feel like, no, Caro na some mommy no fit, even if Caro. So I needed to portray the beauty part of Caro. So every year we come up with something. So there was one year where we decided to, okay, now I will, aside Caro, I will need to profile or portray this beauty part of Caro. We started doing photo shoot. We started portraying the beauty parts of Caro, because I was often not posting, personal pictures of myself like this. I was always put with rapper or looking funny, and so we got into that, and people would take the two pictures. So that was how we managed that year. We gave Caro a different perspective, and we started having brands. Brands started coming for Caro, like hair brands and this and this and that. So just like every year, I'll always go back to my drawing board. So in 2024, I went back to my drawing board. I've been doing comedy for this long. I have had different characters. I've played Mami Monono. I've played different, like, I don't know. I've played like over 4 characters or 5. So I needed to deviate, not just bring another character on the table, but do something that people would see and be wowed. And the only thing I could think of at the time was, okay, this part of me had been dumped. I think I should go back where I dumped it, pick it up, dust it, and match fire. I spoke to my team about it. The managers, they were like, okay, yeah, this is a good idea. I think we should leverage on this. It's really been, it's been lying there somewhere. Pick it up and let's work on it. No more trying to switch character. You already have Mami Monono. You already have Madame Oki. You already have I forgot all my characters' name like that.
Before you continue to watch the rest of this episode, here's what I want you to say.
If I am to rate Smart Club, I'm going to rate it a 9.5 on 10. I'm only taking that 0.5 because perfection leaves no room for development.
He's known for his expertise and innovative problem-solving skills.
Arrey is so practical at what he does.
Hello, this is Flora from the Smart Club.
I joined the Smart Club because I wanted to acquire more skills.
I wanted to acquire more knowledge and skills.
The Smart Club gives you an opportunity to have a one-on-one talk with ARREYB.
It is very innovative.
I have an agile way of thinking now.
We learned a lot, becoming T-shaped, content creation.
These are friends who joined the Smart Club and have been building the skills with us for the last couple of years. Maybe you're asking yourself right now, Arrey, what's Smart Club all about? The Smart Club is my private mentorship club that I built for friends who want to master a high-income digital marketing skill. Whether your goal is to build your personal brand, become a freelancer, or you want to get a job in digital marketing, the Smart Club is the right place for you. Registration has officially opened for the next batch of students. If this sounds like something that you'll be interested in, please don't hesitate to check out the link in the description and join us and build your digital marketing skill.
I was going to ask you, just to pick up from where you talked about creating a new thing every year and transitioning to the new phase. What would you say has been the greatest reason for the success? Lots of people release things every year. They don't get the eyeballs that you got. They don't get the success that you got. What do you think is that one thing that resulted to your success and acceptance? Because lots of people just, even with the views, even with people having to accept that project.
Well, I would say first, we are all doing well. For myself, if I'm to be specific, I would say first, I give glory to God for whatever thing I am getting. It's all by His grace first. Secondly, I would like to appreciate, of course, Cameroonians. After God, I owe whatever I have to them, because if they didn't believe in me in the first place, they would not have promoted me and supported me. Thirdly, I'll say hard work and consistency. Because trust me, the battles I fight are not even projected out there, out here. Yeah, so it's a constant fight within myself first as a person. I look at myself every time at the mirror, and I always want to see someone different. I don't want to wake up every morning seeing the same Lilian. No, I want to stand every time in front of my mirror and see an upgraded version of this person sitting right here. So to answer your question, I would say grace.
That's a good answer. I wasn't expecting that one. And at the same time, one of the things I noticed about you is just been humble enough to understand criticism in the right way. I saw you share the review which Lenga Darling did. What was it about? How? Okay, first it has to do a lot with your personality. This is someone who understands how to accept criticism. But I'm also thinking second, it might also go a long way to the kind of way people should criticize, if that makes sense.
Exactly. You have a point.
Yeah. Talk to me about that and how you think criticism should be done constructively.
First, people criticize because they even care, if you ask me.
Right.
If I don't care, I won't look at that direction. There are some people that will watch you walk to your grave and will not say a word. Yes, we know of this. We know of some people. We all have people around us like that. You put on makeup, you say, "How do I look? Do I look beautiful?" You say, "Oh my God, yeah, you look. Let's go. You look." And there are people who will genuinely tell you that, yeah, I think you could have done it better. This would have been here. This year would have been, perfect. So there are different ways to criticize. Some criticize with love. Some criticize to ridicule. Some criticize to spite. We have different ways. And I am one person who life alone has taught me a lot of lessons. Like from my life journey and everything I've told you, the things I've been through, the battles, the personal battles I've had to fight within myself. So where I am today, I give glory to God for how far I've come, and I owe only God, my explanations and, confrontations. If I have any battle, I'll bring it to God. So I face criticism every time, And to be honest with you, I think that's part of the showbiz. People don't always have to share their own opinion, and so I'll choose what I want to talk about, choose what I want to share on my space, choose what deserves my attention. Yes, I get talked about almost every time, oftenly not positively, but you don't see me on that trying to justify myself. No, it wasn't like this, it was like this. It wasn't like that. It was like, no, because at the end of the day, I think it just won't change anything. The criticism that I feel like, okay, this is coming from a positive mindset. First, you took all your time to watch my movie. That's already an applaud. Yes. If you want to support me, you won't watch. So because you watched, you are actually, giving a proper review of it. I feel like that's support to me to begin with, And now going towards your review or your criticism, I look at it, okay, this is coming from a place of love. This is coming from a place of wanting to see better. This is coming from a place of wanting to see you expand and enter global markets, So when I see stuff like that, like, okay, if I do, for example, Settle, oh yeah, I just watched Settle. Damn, it was an amazing film. First, I applaud you guys for the quality. I applaud you guys for your story. I applaud you guys with your choice of actors. I applaud the courage to even venture into this business. However, I feel that if A was here and B here, it would have been better. And I think that is a very positive criticism, and it's only fair for me to give that my attention and maybe also screenshot it, bring it to my team, and say, oh, I think we should pay attention to this. This person is actually making a point, Okay, when I see another one of, oh, I don't watch that their thing. Now what kind of story that? Why it be there? So why it be like? You literally have nothing positive to say about it. Honestly, I don't think that's worth my time. I feel like, okay, first you're not encouraging me. You're not supporting me in any way. So there's no need giving that my attention. That is just someone trying to project his own issues and insecurities and everything on me. And I have a lot that I'm battling with that. I don't need to pay attention to something like that. So I've already developed that thick skin that people have different opinions, and those opinions will come. Sometimes it will come subtly, sometimes it will come harshly. Bet you those same people who come at you today will come at you tomorrow to praise you, you know. So it's it's a complex thing. Like I'm just open to everything, and I love everyone genuinely. I don't see any. I don't want to take anything as you hating me. I just see. We have a lot that we are battling with, and sometimes we just need to vent on something to be able to feel alive, to be able to. And I've made myself that object that I'm on the media. You get to see, you get to throw your stones at, and I'm ready psychologically, physically. I'm ready for it, So I think I'm just open about criticisms. At the end of the day, I don't want to say it's coming from a place of hate. Like everybody who do a review about my film, whether good or bad, I know that somehow indirectly you've played your own role in my life. Yes, I might not give it my attention because I feel like, okay, this is like a direct attack, and if I should go under to explain, you might not even get my point. So I'll just leave you for maybe when we do the next project, it might meet your expectations. So yeah, that's it for me.
Really interesting. I love what you said. Is you choose the things that get your attention, and so I remember. So I used to, at some point, apart from I run a marketing business. Apart from doing that, I decided to start sharing the journey. So I started writing an email, sending out emails to my email list like once every Sunday. I remember one of the biggest criticism I got was somebody who, I don't write that emails, let's say about 600 words. That person rewords the entire 600 word email, send them back from me. So you're always talking about yourself. When you talk about this, you talk about you won here, you talk about you did this, and he rewarded every single thing to me. Then I sat down and I go, how did you get the time to reword my entire email and send back to me? So I responded back to the guy. I said, hey, like, I'm really, like, I really like the way you wrote it. You took out time. It shows that you read this, and I'd love to have a conversation. If you'd like to get on Zoom, let's talk. It was interesting. He responded back to me and said, Arrey, I don't think that anyone has responded to me like this whenever I sent out something. Long story short, I think that he became, I hate to use the word, but he became a fan at some point, and we started to exchange ideas. But that really just says a lot about how you process things. And I like that you said you do that selective retention, because it's very, very important. I wanted you started talking earlier about some of the challenges you've faced. Definitely the criticisms are part of it. Do you want to share a bit about some of the things that you have encountered, especially being a woman in the industry, and how you have been able to battle that?
Yeah, first, yes, but looked down on me because they see Caro, so they felt like, this is one ugly, uneducated, maybe frustrated girl who is doing comedy because she has nothing else to do aside comedy. That was one thing that I had to battle with. And then another thing that I don't think that one is going to end anytime. So that one is a normal thing that would always, as women, always face. You always be addressed for Caro, I wear the clothes, Caro, I know where the one. And Caro, yeah, Bobby the show, Caro, yeah, scared short, Caro, that's another thing that if you notice every year for Camille.
Every single year.
Yes, Caro must get some what you it make rounds with our ad. To be honest, I don't even know how to put. I think they don't just be like, yes, Caro need for no say Caro they come if we get for some one thing for happen. We don't want to go around for Caro. It's just how I don't get for manage all of this. Like I tell you, say I be very open to criticisms, and I know say people they get their different. You know if you ever please everybody. Today your complaint say one ugly fellow Caro is like she's frustrated. She's it. Tomorrow you learn that Caro is not actually as frustrated as you think. Okay, start looking at Caro differently. You complain that Caro your skirt is short. So short. Caro is your breast out. The next day Caro no way kaba, looking up. Caro, you look beautiful. This is so I think at the end of the day, Caro is just human, and I know will always meet people their expectations every time. So the day where I meet the expectation, you praise me, you like them, I'm happy with the fact that you like me, you like it. But trust me, I'm not carried away. I don't leave that talk. Oh, you look beautiful. This dress is so nice. Oh, you are the most amazing person that I've seen. You're the most. I don't let that get into my head because I was tomorrow. If some person just can make some say, I made your career for some restaurant, and Salusi ignore me. You know, even want do proper finding. Say, but did Caro actually ignore you? You talk, that's what you did. Even if I reply a comment, even if
So one man ever validate them, I swear.
You're playing. One man must validate them. I'm saying at the end of the day, we cannot please everybody. And I'm also human. I also fall short of their expectations. And I'm just happy with the fact that I'm proud of my fans, regardless. These are people that even if they're not happy with something today, they'll go past it. The next minute, we're going. Unlike some people that will just say, I don't do this or follow Caro. But they know I like the fact that my fans have taken out their time to understand the kind of woman or the kind of lady they are following. I appreciate the fact that they see me for who I am. They see the purity of my heart. They see my nature, and they don't say no. Even if some come and go box or some side Sunday, they see na Caro, they'll say, Caro, Chuchu, you write this thing. That is because they know this Caro cannot do this. So they will. So I'm just blessed with the fans that I have. Yes. So I respect and love them so much because they're my driving force. Yes, they're my driving force. So yes.
Your team, Roland, Bismark, Bate. Oh, I've actually Bismark, I'm a schoolmate. I always just write to you. Incredible brother. How did you find them? Looks like you found the best.
Honestly, I didn't even go in search of them. Like I have a team. Roland, Siofa Roland is an actor I met on the set of Half Heaven. Before I met Siofa Roland, I've heard a lot about him, and that's one actor I respect so much. Same as Mavit, and those are my seniors in the industry. As for Bismark, I met him on the set of Maestro, a TV series I featured in, and he was the AD, the assistant director of that project. So when I went on set, he was giving me guide on my character and everything, and I saw a talented guy. I saw an amazing director. I saw someone who understood the assignment. I saw someone who has knowledge of directing and everything, at the peak of his fingers. Like I was just so impressed with Bismarck the first time I met him. So we had a relationship. We're just okay, Hey, please let me before we misquote relationship. Before the I mean, we went beyond the borders of this is just my director.
No, I was going to pause it. I was like, let's go.
So before they put me when you go on set, you walk with people, and at the end of the day, you move, and that's the end of it. But with this particular person, I needed this person to be in my space, to be among my content, because he is somebody I know that can empower me as an actor. He can help do breakdown for scripts for me. So we were on set for like 2 to 3 to 4 months, and after that, Bismarck and I were just friends. He would organize his theater shows and invite me for. So by then, I already know this person. I know this is your strength. So when I decided to do MO Productions, it's built on the foundation of Christ, of grace. Yes, there's no king or queen somewhere who is sponsoring MO Productions. So MO Production is my baby. I'm investing my time, my energy on it, because this is something I am grooming from nothing. From nothing. The little I've saved in comedy, in the adverts I've been doing, and every money I'd saved, that's what I'm investing into my production. There's no sponsor somewhere giving me 2 million, 3 million to push projects. And so when I wanted to kickstart my projects, I needed to work with people that I've had a history with, people who also need the spotlight, people who are so talented and are not well known. You get, so those were the people that I initially wanted to work with. Like, even taking it down to the actors, I wanted to just work with people I wanted to project great talents, people that are so talented but lack the platform. That was the initial plan. Most of the people that worked on Emma Productions, they are amazing, they are great talents that are not known and are on social media like that. Yeah. And so when we got into the phase of production, we now started thinking of, for marketing purpose and the fact that this is our first project, I think we should bring one or two popular faces. When we talk of popular faces, no, our focus was not even popular faces. Our focus was people who have the experience. This was the first production. We need people who have at least the experience. We blended. We use experienced faces, then we used people who are just talented but are not all out there. That was how our two superstar actors, Mavis Ann and Siofa, came in. These are amazing actors, but trust me, I can vouch that most Cameroonians didn't know about them. Yes, only people in the film industry, people who are just around the industry affairs, knew their strength and their potentials. So we used these two people. They were amazing for our team. Like, the DOP is there, not an amazing DOP, but again, not too known. Bismark is there, an amazing director, but he's just there in his corner. So if you notice, we are doing everything possible to brand every person we are working with, experience or non-experience. So we put you out there, tag you, talk about you, learn the number of the years you've been in the industry, your contributions to the growth of the industry. Let people who know you. Let those who did not even know you existed say, wow, I didn't know Cameroon had this, this caliber of actors and actresses. So yeah, that was it.
For me, I really loved that when I watched the movie, especially at the end, I saw even just the credits. You could tell that you guys sat down and you go, who have we left out? Who do we have to appreciate? Who do we want to check out? I think that when I watched it, I literally paused on credits. I went back, paused like 3 times. I was like, it talks a lot. Talk to me about your intentions and your goal with Productions. Where would you see that going 5-7 years from now?
So I see Emerald Productions going international in 5 years, where we'll have to do a production in Nigeria, do a production in Ghana. Why not America? Why not Canada? I see Emerald Production creating more platforms for people, changing people's careers and people's dreams. So in 5 years, I see us producing in America, Canada. I see us flying our actors out. I see us paying our actors in millions. I see us changing the YouTube game. Yes. For more people to get into YouTube, and let's make YouTube a home. More producers getting into YouTube, and let YouTube be a Cameroon lifestyle where people can just sit in their houses and go on YouTube without thinking, it will take my data,
I love it when you say paying actors more. I be telling my team, I'm saying one of my biggest goal for me is I want to sit down and pay my team, pay someone in my team $1 million every month, and I'm going to be like, now I feel happy. Say she don't have to do yet in them. You go home with $1 million. But indirectly, it's also a selfish goal because it means that if I'm able to pay you $1 million, guess how much I'll be making?
You'll be making. I'm thinking of joining your team. Can I?
No, now you aim me for PA. I checked if I want to apply for Giscard, use me like own PA now.
If I will not, you are this soft spoken. I don't even. In fact, Giscard, you didn't tell me this. It's okay. We'll work it out. Don't worry.
Okay. Quick question. What is one question you have never been asked on the media, which you you wished you were asked?
I wish I'll just get to one morning and see a question like, Caro, how do you feel? Or Caro, how are you? Sometimes I think these people that don't know me should ask me how I do feel. Because they don't know me, but sometimes they make analysis like they know me. Sometimes they talk about Caro without thinking, what this thing that I'm writing about this girl, how would she take it? How if it's said to me, how will it look like? So one question I've never been asked on the media, like I think I've been asked a lot. So what are your this? What are your that? What are your this? What are your that? What are we expecting? What are we receiving? What are you doing next? What are you? Somebody should just ask, how are you? How do you feel?
Right.
Yes.
Caro, how are you? How do you feel?
No, you're just saying that now because I've said it. Just for one day when I'm not expecting, just start, Caro, how do you feel?
I'll ask you for sure. How are you? How do you feel? Okay. I know we have a few more minutes. I know you have to rush up, but is Caro in a relationship right now? This one's a quick questions. I have like 3 questions, quick ones. Is Caro in a relationship right now?
No. See the position of my mouth. I know people will say, I didn't ever get to do for it. You see, these kind of questions are challenging questions. If you ask me, they are simple, but yet very tricky. Because no matter the response you give, you still have another question. You have a follow-up question to that. So, yeah, I know a follow-up question will come.
No, I don't want to ask a follow-up question, to be honest.
No, it will not come from you. It come from someone else.
No, I respect when people say they're having their space. First, I think that the thing that people don't realize, especially as a creative, it takes a lot. Sometimes you don't have that space to accommodate a relationship. And it's not because so many reasons. There was a time in my life, I think it was like 2-3 years, I decided I'm not dating at this point because I felt like when I woke up every morning, I wanted to put energy into my thing. And if I stayed with a lady at that point, I felt that I wouldn't be giving them a 100%. And some of them would not understand when I wake up in the morning and go, hey, I've been doing X and X for 4 hours. That's why I haven't touched my phone. I've been doing this. So probably you're in that space where it's like, now you're focused on building this baby. And the thing people don't realize is when you have this baby, it's like the past relationship for you. Because you wake up in the morning, it's like, that's that thing. You don't want to sleep for night. Oh, my ID lock, your ID open. That's how you take that next lens. Who will you call? I can't do the one. So it's just, I totally understand when you say that, and I hope that they don't bash you for this. But even if they do, I trust that you have thick skin.
Of course, where it's normal. It's normal. We're used to.
Okay. What would be your top 3 Cameroonian movies of all time? Maybe these, maybe the last 10 years, regardless of how you want to put it. Top 3 Cameroonian movies.
Okay. Fisherman's Diary.
Oh, okay. Can't go into this.
Yeah. Half Heaven. Planter's Plantation.
Interesting. Okay. Why Fisherman's Diary?
Yeah, the story is epic and it has some of Cameroon's finest actors. And it's a very relatable story that was well told and was well put together. So yeah. Same with Planter's Plantation. And of course I was one of the cast. Planter's Plantation is an amazing story. If you've not watched the movie, but at least you've seen footages and you've seen the numbers of awards they've been able to acquire so far. So Half Heaven also, of course, that's another amazing film. It's on Amazon. So if you've not watched, please go create time and watch it.
I'm definitely going to. Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch. I have to watch even your second movie. I have to watch tonight.
Not watch Stranded. I'm sure you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel.
I have, Caro. Oh, come on. I'm not that mean. I have. I've watched it. Actually, I've watched the first one like twice. Before, like I was telling you, I had to pause on the what's it called? Credits. And I'm like, hey, let me watch again. Let me pause. Let me go. I have
Look at
actually I
me.
have a funny attitude of watching movies. If I watch movie with you, you'll tire me because at the one pause and I go, wow, 3 shots, okay. And then I go back. Oh, 2 shots, okay, I go back. Well, sometimes it's annoying, but because I like to get tip stuff. What would be your top 5 Cameroonian artists right now?
My top 5 Cameroonian artists. I have Salatiel. I have Kofi.
Okay.
I have Mekong.
Mekong.
Yeah, I have Renew. I have Sabah. Yeah.
Interesting pick. I won't ask for that one. Because I know they don't light you up when they see a top pick. The last question we always ask every guest on the podcast is, when all is said and done, how do you want to be remembered as Caro? No, let me say it again. When all is said and done, how do you want to be remembered as Mbeng Lilian?
Yes, I want to be remembered as that lady who impacted lives, who showed a different narrative about women, a woman who gave platforms to those who were in need of it, a woman who brought a change to the industry and to the lives of Cameroonians. That's what I want to be remembered for.
That's it. I want to thank you, Caro, for coming on the podcast. And thank you for giving me nice compliments that I'll sleep and not forget.
Thank you so much for having me, Arrey. I'm glad that I am here, or I was here. It was very fun talking with you.
Yeah, and telling people that you're not in a relationship, and I know they'll come for you. For those who have watched this, please go for.
No, they'll not come for me. Okay, they know that I'm not in a relationship. Yes, you're the only one who are not aware. They all know.
Well, they just wanted to hear so that they'll come.
Yes, they wanted
So they're coming.
I wanted to.
So, on behalf of all the bros and the brotherhood, we have an assignment right now.
Yeah. Please make your applications very short.
What's your pick?
One paragraph. Because I will have enough to read. One paragraph should be enough.
What's your pick? What's your pick? Let's give them details.
No, I don't want to limit my suitors. So let them come.
I'll tell them your pick. I'll tell them for you. I think that when I look at you, if you want to be with Caro, first thing first, you have to have a lot of space. First, I would say that you need to be emotionally intelligent, because why should she laughing?
Oh, how did you know that? That's one. Yeah, this guy is smart. That's one.
Let me shoot. Yeah, I would say emotionally intelligent, because if I look at it just from the conversation, I would. So this is how you come off to me, right? When you are a child who has grown up and having to be like the stronger one for your siblings, you build a lot of tough skills, right? And that's how you come off when you step out. But inside, there is the soft side way. Not only the people, the way they get access for you, they know say you're not as tough. Listen, if I'm prophesying, just raise your left hand and say, man of God, speak.
Man of God.
I'm leaving this in this recording.
Are you for real? Oh, Arrey, you want people to start saying, Arrey, are you sure there's nothing going on? Are you sure there's no background message you're keeping away from us?
No, there's no background message. Let me clear the air
immediately. This is so on point. How did you get it so right?
No, at least from talking to you. Let me clear the air immediately. There's no background message that's going on. People will also scatter my own smart where they try to make up a different side. We don't want this kind of nonsense here. But yeah, I would say that emotionally intelligent, because you need that space. The world is already tough, but you need that space where you come to, that person holds that emotional space for you. Second, I would say communication a lot. Very, very important, because being the kind of person you are, sometimes it's just, babe, I'm tired. I just need 2 hours to breathe, or I'm just getting into something. It's going to take 4 hours. And if the person does not understand, they will go, oh, you haven't written to me for 6 hours. What are you doing? Are you guys still on set? Have you followed the other man? Have you gone here? But you need somebody who really understands how to communicate. So 1, emotional intelligence. 2, communication. 3, that's a lot. What would I put on 3?
I think on 3 you should put tolerance.
Tolerance. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say family person. Yeah. Okay. Tolerance.
A family person can always can come third, because
Yeah.
of course I am a family person. I'm big on family. I grew up with my siblings all around, so I'm a family woman.
Yeah. Tolerance, very important. I know that every woman has that little thing there. They also, they have which is nice though, because if you see that part come out, it's because they hold that space for you. But you're going to tell me if you want me to leave this part in the podcast. If you don't want to, just say it now and then. My video editor will watch it and cut it out. So 1, 2, 3, go. Should we?
I don't think I want it.
You want to see me prophesying to you?
Your prophecy is just so on point. It's not going to appear like a coincidence.
Anyway, but yeah, we'll cut it out if they want it. It's okay.
But if you think it's no big deal, then fine. When they come for my head, you'll definitely not be left out. So
I have a thick skin. I would like to think me and money be my problem, or all that thing. So for me, so I have 2 things that guide me on social media. Is it making me money? If it's not, I need to put my mob there. Is it part of my virtues or like my values? If it's no, I need to put my mob there. When I go jam on that skin up and down, my time is money and my values. So anyway, so Caro, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
If you just enjoyed this episode, the chances are that you're going to enjoy other amazing episodes that we've recorded, so you can check that out somewhere around this video. Before you go, please make sure you check our 3 boxes. First things first, please make sure to hit the subscribe or the follow button down below, because the more we grow, the bigger guests we can approach on this platform and the more value we can bring to you here on the podcast. Second, a lot of friends always reach out to me and say something like, hey Arrey, I really did enjoy this particular segment of this episode. Pick up your phone and send this to a friend and say, hey, check this out between 10 to 15 minutes. There's something very important I'd love you to see. Number 3, please make sure to check out the links in the description for very helpful resources. You're going to find the link to join the Smart Club, which is my private mentorship club for friends who want to learn and master a high-income digital marketing skill. Whether your goal is to build your personal brand, become a freelancer, or get a job in digital marketing, the Smart Club is going to be the right place for you. So before you go, please make sure to tick those 3 boxes. Like I always say, my friends, cheers to many more years of shamelessly living and crazily excelling in passion and purpose. And I'll speak to you in the next episode.